I don't have it in me. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to climb the ladder again. I've been doing this a long time.
What's up, everyone? Shakiel Mahjouri here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is. He fights Islam Makhachev for the undisputed UFC lightweight title this Saturday at UFC 302. A man who packs a punch, rivaled only by his line of hot sauces. Available online and at a store near you. Dustin the Diamond Poirier, how's it going, man?
What's going on, man? It's going well.
All right, thank you so much for doing this today. Exciting stuff. I mean, from Benoit Saint-Denis to the pay-per-view headliner against Islam, crazy times for sure. Before we get there, I don't know if you're a superstitious person, but the MMA audience loves their superstitions. There's two heading into this fight that people keep bringing up, and I'm wondering which you find more entertaining. The fact that Dustin Poirier is 6-0 when fighting in June, or the fact that UFC champions are 0-8 when fighting on the same card as Paulo Costa.
Hey, I've seen people talking about both. What's funny is actually about 30 minutes ago, Alan Jobin, he's a UFC commentator on the ESPN desk, former UFC fighter, lives in the same hometown as me. So we train a lot. Our family is, his kids play with my kids. So he messaged me a while ago and said, dude, you're fighting on Lafayette Street, and everybody who's fought representing Lafayette, Louisiana, fighting on Lafayette Street in New Jersey, and everybody who's fought on the card with Paulo Costa lost their titles. I'm serious, 30 minutes ago messaged me that. And I'll tell you the same thing I told him, bro. I don't need magic. I just need this left hand to land, and that'll do the job. But I'll stack all the good momentum.
Yeah, I love, anything we can get, why not, right? It's a big
Jay,
moment.
come on.
Now, obviously, when we talk about Makhachev, people will tie in his mentor Khabib, a guy that you fought for the title. I'm curious. Obviously, they're not identical, but there's the Dagestani style. They train together closely. What lessons can you take from the Khabib fight when approaching Makhachev?
I knew Khabib's dominance with his wrestling, his positional abilities to outposition his opponents, his top game. I knew going into the fight with Khabib that it was a serious threat. But until I felt it, I didn't understand it, And honestly, I still don't understand it. This is the style that gives me the most trouble. I'm more acquainted with it. I'm better prepared to do it again. But this is a style that gives me the most trouble. I have to keep this a fight. If I turn it into a grappling match or a position match of who's dominating the positions in the round on the ground, it's like quicksand, I might be able to get away here and there, but eventually I'm gonna get put in a position where a wrist is gonna be locked and my weight's gonna be over my shoulder, and I'll be stuck giving up rounds or getting put in a position where I can be submitted. So I just have to be the matador on the feet and on the ground in there. And I'm honest. I'm no stranger to say this is a tough style for me to fight because I want to fight. I survive and do my best work in the chaos and the scrambles of combinations of getting hurt and bleeding and that kind of fight. That's where I shine the best. And these kind of slower, more technical fights, I have the abilities, but I just sometimes give up position trying to get back to the fight. I just need to live it minute by minute and be disciplined in there and really show my full mixed martial arts arsenal. I have all the tools to do it. I just have to keep my mind on pace with my technique and my body.
You said that Habib's control kind of caught you off guard. What was sort of the epiphany you had? What did it feel like relative to your expectations preparing for it?
Honestly, it's hard to explain. To put into words is hard, but he just knew everything I needed to do to get back in a dominant position or to get in a position where I can start creating some defense and some or offense, if you want to say, to stand up against the fence and things like that. He was really good with foot sweeps, with hand positioning, his weight distribution when he got on top. Small intricacies of the game that even people who know grappling might be watching it and not really seeing all the nuances. They're missing a lot of stuff. There's so many small fights going on in the big fight that make a huge difference in those grappling positions. I just have a better understanding of it now.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed will Coach Mike Brown be if you do the jump the guillotine and don't get the submission?
Oh, 10 for sure.
Okay, but
10. So
but
we'll get Mateus Gamrot's going to be in my corner for this one. He helped me out the last two camps, and he's been beating me up every day for the last 6 weeks. So he's going to be in the corner too, and he'll be just as upset as Mike, I'm sure.
okay, but let's say we get the guillotine, right? We win the world title. How much are you gonna hold that over Mike's head, poke and
Oh,
prod him
I'm gonna
about it?
just for the rest of the night. Anytime he goes to say anything, I'm gonna say, "I told you so," for the rest of the night.
Can you sort of compare and contrast the feelings for me? Like this, it's kind of like a third time's the charm situation. I feel like that's one of the narratives going in your third UFC
Well,
undisputed lightweight title fight. How would you sort of compare the emotions and the mentality going into this third chance relative to the other two?
I would say the pressure, the media, the 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 masses watching feels similar. I know all eyes on this fight. So like the main stage spotlight is it feels the same, but just my mental space feels different. All the other times, even though it might seem more like it this time, like I have to do it this time because I'm not gonna, get another chance. It's now or never next weekend. But I'm just in a good mental spot. I'm grateful and starting to be content with my career and my legacy. I'm just in a good spot and ready to fight. I feel like that's a position for me mentally that I'm very dangerous in.
Do you feel like it's do or die now or never this weekend, this coming weekend?
It I know it never is because I'm capable of anything. I can climb back to this spot and fight again for the world title. I can do anything. I can grind back to it. I know I can. It's just I don't have it in me. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to climb the ladder again. I've been doing this a long time, and it's a very selfish sport. And I'm ready to be a father and be a husband and be home and be into a routine. Um, so I wouldn't say I can't do it again. I can do it again. I'm just this is it for me.
Will there be more fights after this? Should you not become the lightweight champ?
I'm not sure, man. This could be the last one.
Appreciate you sharing that. If you win, does that change the situation, or is it time to go be a dad regardless?
I'm still on the fence with win or lose. I just want to be content with my
Yeah.
career. Yeah.
Man, and I love that point of view. I feel like so many of our most like beloved fighters, we just see put their body through so much when the legacy has already been established. And I love that you're putting your family first. It actually kind of ties into this next question, and I say this with all the respect in the world. Heading into this fight, when we talk about who are the greatest fighters to never become undisputed champion, your name is usually on the top of that list because you're still always on the precipice of doing that. You say you're content with your legacy. Is that a reputation you'd be okay with if things don't go your way next Saturday?
It's a thing where I have to digest it and be okay with it because that's how life goes. Of course, I'm looking at the brighter side and trying to be
Yes.
positive that I'm gonna finish the story and seal the deal and become the undisputed lightweight champ after 30, 31. This will be my 31st fight in the UFC. And what a story that would be. But no matter how prepared you are, every time we walk out there, whether I'm fighting number one pound for pound Islam Makhachev or I'm fighting Benoit Saint Denis from Paris on a win streak, making a name for himself. It's a roll of the dice every time you get in there, no matter how good you are, how prepared you are. But I fully believe in myself, and I know I can
Yeah.
beat anybody in the world at 155 pounds. It's just I really need to be disciplined and be in the moment June 1st.
Um, I was so grateful that you opened up the way you did in your interview with Ariel about your headspace. Just personally, like there was a period of my life where I felt like I was free falling and nothing was making it better until I sought professional help. And it's something I feel like a lot of UFC fighters, I don't know if it's bravado or reputation or what, but they seem sort of hesitant or headstrong. What would be your advice to a fighter who probably could benefit from talking to a professional, but for whatever reason isn't willing to take that step?
I think for sure in the male side of a mixed martial arts competition, I'm not sure if it's the same as on the female side, but we feel like it's a weakness to admit we're going through something or to seek help because things don't feel right in between our ears. And it's not, it really isn't. You got to take care of yourself and being prepared to fight and being your best. The mental space is part of that. It's all connected, and I went through a really down time where I was depressed and not in a good spot at all. And, I have a wife and daughter looking at me at home and I have to be there and be strong for them. So you put things in perspective, and I'm just thankful that I talked to the people I did, and I have a good people surrounding me back home who care about me and really help get me out of that place. And it's not like it's fixed. not like you turn a key in a
No,
lock
of
and it's
course
click,
not.
it's done. It's work every day. I have to practice this every single day. It's not a one time fixes all. I'm still dealing with it. I work through it every single day. It comes at different times, at different scenarios, different levels of stress. Bring it out. But going through the repetitions and putting myself back in the right spot is something I practice every day.
You mentioned that fourth Conor fight is something you're not interested in. You don't need that sort of energy. Could I ask what that whole rivalry did to your headspace and where it kind of took you?
It took me to a place where I quit caring about people's opinions and the critics. I think it helped me because I don't really care a whole lot about what people say anymore. And I find strength in that leading up to this title fight where people are saying like I'm outgunned here, I'm outmatched and stuff like that. Well, you show me, I'll find out Saturday night. That's just the kind of mind space that put me in. And I feel like I don't want people to say like I'm saying I don't ever want to fight Conor. I just feel like where I'm at right now, undisputed lightweight title, it just seems so far away right now. It's like not even in my, I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
During the last interview, you told me that if you were to give Chandler advice on holding out for the fight, you tell him to hold out, and look how that shaped up. So good call
Yeah,
there. I
him and
always
his
put out a
family.
fan Q&A. If you're willing, someone wanted you to rank these three fighters based on who is the most and least annoying: Connor, Chandler, Covington.
Uh, Covington, Conor, Chandler.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I feel like that's a fair rating. And sometimes I get slacks. People are like, "Oh, you didn't ask my question." For the people wondering about Dustin to welterweight, I feel like some of the conversations through the 15 minutes we've been chatting will answer that question. Dustin, you've been so generous with your time and your candor. I would like to end this on some rapid fire and just shoot the shit for a couple minutes. Is that cool?
Go.
Let's do it. Is Dustin Poirier a top 5 ping pong player in the UFC?
Shit, I don't know, man. Some people you wouldn't even think possess the skills. I'm, I'd say top 10.
Who's like the best in your opinion that you've seen?
I don't know anybody else from the UFC besides Mike Brown. Mike Brown's up there. My boxing coach is top 5 probably.
Okay. Smash burger or like a thicker pub style patty?
Dang, I like both. I like both. But if we do a few patties on the smash burger, I go with that.
Do you have like a most overrated and underrated chain burger joint?
Like every day, probably McDonald's. Like it's just
Their app though, their app game goes hard. You can get some good deals on there. Hey, what's the best hot sauce to put on a burger?
Poirier's Louisiana style Creole maple. Come on.
There we go. There we go. What fight do you think you had to show the most heart in and sort of grit through?
Um, I've been in a bunch like that. Maybe one that comes to mind is probably the first fight with Justin Gaethje. My leg was damaged really bad. My eye was messed up, and I still pulled it off. That one was a tough one.
Is there a big Lebowski quote that you can give me off the top of your head that everyone should live their life by?
Oh man, the dude. Uh, shit.
I put you on the
I,
spot, Dustin. I get it.
that I know. I know. I should have been prepared. I should have been prepared. I don't know.
All right, that's fine. What would you say is the single most painful blow you've ever taken in a fight?
In a fight,
Yeah.
uh, you don't really feel a whole lot of pain, but whenever I fought Joseph Duffy at MGM Grand, he crushed my nose, and anytime I would touch it, I can feel the bones moving around, clicking, and that one stung pretty good.
Okay, last one. I just booked an appointment to get my first tattoo. Do you have any advice you can share with me?
Uh, where at? What location on your body?
Probably shoulder blade.
Uh, on the back?
Yeah, probably.
I don't really have any on my back, but that probably is a decently painful spot, I would guess.
It's probably gonna take a few hours, so wish me luck, Dustin.
Yeah, have fun.
It can't be as bad as the nose. Dustin, you've been so generous with your time. I want to leave you with the last word very quick for me, guys. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Subscribe, tap the bell, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Let us know what is your all-time favorite Dustin Poirier memory. If you got any tattoos, what hurt the most? Dustin, if there's anything you want to tell the people, the floor is yours, my friend.
June 1st, buy the pay-per-view. I'm gonna finish the story, send this thing off the right way, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited about this fight.